Hello and thanks for staying with us. Customs impound donkey skill along the nation's borderline. Also on customs reports, customs management continue to preach against violation of import rules in the country. Plus, more reports. I am Egiseme Etinye. Stay tuned. The Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service has been preaching about the operations of the service in Nigeria. He said that a lot of changes have taken place in the service since 2015. In one of his address to new intakes at the service, he said that training of officers will continue to improve the working skills of all custom operations in the country. He made the appeal in Lagos when he visited Customs College in Lagos. The Controller General of Customs also told the officers that customs will continue to operate laws approved by government.
But Madi, that would be a passage. But let me just briefly say what has happened. We decided that we must comply with the Federal Character Commission's regulation with regards to recruitment. And what we set on right from the beginning, Nigerian Customs Service management identify the factors that needs to be considered. One is that how do we get the spread? Two, how do we ensure that quality candidates are recruited? And thirdly, how do we ensure that every local government has a representation? So we set out a simple thing. We came out with a plan that now allocate, because we are recruiting four categories of officers: level 8, 6, 4, and 3. So we now made it clear that every local government out of the 774 local government in Nigeria will produce 4 custom officers, 1 each from these categories. And that is how we set up to do, that's what we set up, and that is how we have walked through to what you are seeing today. We went through the process, of course, with a lot of challenges, because a lot of people are not used to this process. In the past, people bring names and then they are recruited. But we said no. First, we want to ensure that only interested custom officers, people who want to be custom officers, vie for this. Secondly, we must meet the spread as regards Federal Character Commission. And this is the first time, and if I'm wrong, please correct me, because you are the members of the press, that any service in Nigeria has set out a format for recruitment like this. I dare anybody who says he has done this, because the Federal Character Commission, who should know better, have told us that this is the first time they are having this method applied for recruitment. So we are happy to be the pioneers of this. And that is why you're seeing the result here. And I am highly impressed, because we have not gone wrong. These guys have shown that they are really into this because they want to be in it. And that's the selection. Today we have, on the total, when we started in 2019, we were in the process of we've done the CBT test, because the first step is to apply on the system. We opened the platform and then everybody applied. Then the system do the segregation of only the type of discipline that we require. Then once that is done, those ones that have been sorted out will now go through CBT test. That's computer-based test. And after that, those who made the cutoff point will now be called for screening. So we did the computer-based training. At the point where we are about to call those who are successful for the screening, COVID came into place, and we were asked to suspend this, and that's why you're seeing this thing that has lasted this long. So by the time we got the go-ahead in 2021, most of those who have succeeded and are in the list, some of them, either they are women, they've gotten married or gotten another job. Some of the men have some of them have gone back to schools and therefore abandoned this idea. So we ended up with a handful. And this is the groups that we are able to select from them. Now, if you recall, when we published the list of these as successful candidates and calling them to report for training, we also advertised and we opened a platform for applications of those who wants to join to make up the supplementary list, because we have a gap between the 3,200 that has been given to us and what we have selected. So we advertised for those who are willing to join to also apply. Now we are at the stage where they have applied. We have done the selection based on system. We are now going to call them for CBT tests. And after the CBT test, they will also go through the screening like everybody. Then we will select the balance. But what we are doing this time around is that some of these local governments, I give you an example like my local government, there's local government in Bauchi State. We have filled in the position of the level 8 position, level 6 position, and level 4 position. The only one that is left for that local government is level 3. So anybody from that local government that is applying, if he does not fall under level 3, it means we are not going to consider him. The system will not even shortlist him. That is one. Two, it is only those ones. And what we have also done, the novel system, is that you only, in this exam and screening, you only compete with your own fellows within the same local government. You don't compete with anybody anywhere else. So if there are 5 of you who applied for level 8 in that local government, you only compete with those 4 people. Nothing more, nothing less. So out of the 5 of you, 1 of you will be selected to represent your local government. So that is exactly what we have done. So that's the novel aspect of it. So we are now looking forward to the second segment, and very soon we will start the process, and hopefully we'll get them back here, reporting here in the next 2-3 months, so that they can also go through the training.
The Controller General of Customs also speaks on the VIN violation at the ports in the country.
And the VIN valuation, if you recall, Funanya, you have been a reporter, and I remember since I came into customs, anytime I visit the port, the reports that came to me or the complaints that came to me from the freight forwarders has been that there are multiple valuations. They go to Apapa, they get a different valuation. They go to a PTML, they get a different valuation. They go to Tinkan, they get... So they challenge us. And what do we need to do? And I promised them, if you recall, that we will harmonize this thing and then put it in one compartment that you only have one valuation. And God so kind, ICT is in place, and my staff went to work. And by this time, we were able to get a platform whereby all the valuation has been harmonized, and now you have one single valuation. And not only for the freight forwarders, importers themselves, it makes it easy for you. You can now access the portal, know how much you are supposed to pay, and you can go ahead and do your payment on your own. And you go and collect your vehicle. You don't need an agent. You don't need an agent to do this. And then you know if there's no question of Apapa or Tinkan or PTML different, this one valuation for the same type of vehicle anywhere. So we are going forward. We are moving forward. We can't be retrogressing. And I think when the freight forwarders came up with the issue of saying they disagree, I was surprised, because these were the same people that put us on the edge, that we must harmonize this thing. And we have harmonized it. So what is the fear? What is the fight? So I think it has come to stay, and we'll make sure that it succeeds.
Thank you, sir.
The customs has continued to fine-tune operations and clearance of goods at the port. The ACG in charge of ISTC and the controller Tinkan Command assist to say. The two of them were busy addressing stakeholders in Apapa, Lagos.
Honestly, believe you me, you won't see FOU again. And the beauty of this solution, if you are complying of your scanner has been scanned and non-suspect released, even the officer at the gate going through your documents, see the image that you've passed, will not hold you again. In fact, it will be a thing of pride that you will hold your scanning result to show everybody that I'm compliant enough. I'm staying there to checkmate the non-compliant traders. But if I stop you and a compliant trader, gladly you show me the result, your image result, and I will even salute you, safe journey. Containers going to terminals. Already they've been pre-scanned. Don't ever think that because your containers are going to bonded terminal, you should be exempted from there. One of the motives of the deployment of this technology is to enhance our national security. Even if you are going to Kano, you are going to bonded terminal across the road, your containers are scanned and the image warehouse in case. So I don't see any big deal there. It's just a process you are passing through. From the vessel to stacking area, your scanners will be scanned, the image too. Be among the top custom administration. This is just the beginning of our automation process. Very soon we are rolling out our end-to-end automation of all our processes and procedure. Then to the issue of after release. After release at the gate, they will just acknowledge the exit. No further interference. And who are going to manage this scanning site? They will be managed by officers of Nigerian Customs Service. There is no third party. We are no longer in pre-shipment regime, whereby you bring service providers to work for us. We are capable, we are trained, and we can deliver. And to the last one, the starting date. These are some of the components that we need to complete. We have to sensitize you to make sure we're on the same page. Then we send the feedback. Then Honorable Minister of Finance and National Planning now will fix it. We can't wait to commence equally.
Disruptive technology. Non-intrusive is one of those technology. And I will advise our trading public and partners to key in because the train has started moving. This train is not going to wait for anybody. Although by articles of trade facilitation, we'll be consulting and engaging, which the ACG has attested to. So on this note, I thank you all for coming, and I know going forward, you go back to the confines of your office and think about this standard operating procedure. The ACG is open to comments, constructive comments, even after this engagement. The email to ICT and to the help desk of this standard operating procedure committee will be open for you to make comments. Thank you so much, ACG, for taking time to be with us in this zone. We're happy and we're proud of you for the innovations you are bringing in the clearance system. And to our trading partners, we thank you.
You are watching the program Customs Report. The Customs Area Controller in charge of Kebbi Command has again intercepted donkey skin from smugglers operating along the nation's borderline. He urged would-be importers to desist from the act of smuggling of donkey skins in and outside the country.
Nigeria as a nation is a signatory to International Convention on Wildlife, Fauna and Flora. That means that animals that are globally classified as endangered species are not supposed to be hunted are not supposed to be poached, and of course not supposed to be used as meat, as the case here. Now on Saturday, officers and men of the Nigerian Customs Service Kebbi State Command were on routine patrol along Rara Koko Road. They sighted this particular trailer loaded with donkey meat. They immediately arrested the driver and one other occupant with the offending item and brought them to the Customs Command headquarters. On joint and proper 100% examination, we discovered 1,390 sacks of donkey meat. This is a huge one. In my interaction with one of those who came in connection with this, he did tell me that about 1,000 donkeys were slaughtered to be able to have this quantity of meat. This is illegal, this is wrong, this contravenes section 63B of the Customs and Excise Management Act, 45, Law Federation of Nigeria, 2004.
According to him, the command is ever ready to implement government policies on smuggling activities in the zone.
Cannot allow our nation to be used as a conduit pipe for passage or for illegal trade on wildlife. We are aware that some foreigners come into Africa, bring money and poach our animals to satisfy their industrial needs. But this is not in our interest. And as a people, as Nigerians, we have the responsibility to say no to this illegality.
The newly appointed coordinator in charge of CG Strike Force in the western zone of the country has again intercepted goods worth 373 million naira from smugglers. The contraband were intercepted since he took over some weeks ago. He speaks more on the number of. The unit, among other seizures, include suspected cannabis worth millions of naira, which will be handed over to the National Drug Enforcement Agency for their prosecution in court. He urged importers and agents to respect the law of import and export in the country. The custom boss urged smugglers who thought they could take advantage of the recent changes to carry out their unlawful trade would be disappointed.
They should also acquaint themselves and be guided by policies of federal government of Nigeria and be abreast with import and export prohibition. We will not take these into excuse, as ignorance of the law is not an excuse. We are working 24 hours round the clock to contend with any illicit activities, either at night or at day. I am happy to declare that our operatives are relentless and uncompromising as far as this tax is concerned. This is just the beginning of a heated anti-smuggling action, which we have embarked upon in the entire southwest region of the country. We are ready to run smugglers out of the town with full support and encouragement of our Controller General of Customs, retired Colonel Hamid Ali. This tax is aimed at protecting our national economy and preventing dangerous importations as well as exportation that contradicts the law.
According to him, the unit will run smugglers out of business with the help of the management. He said that the unit's task is to protect the economy and prevent dangerous importation.
Most of the declarations that we receive, in fact, we get first-hand information of all these items coming from overseas through our shared intelligence. I will make sure that before we go on, we make sure that we put an alert on all these jobs, and that helps us a lot. With these, I'm pleased to tell you that, of course, we've had a lot of jobs that are on the port that hopefully we're going to get them. We're going to nip them on the board. We're going to nip them off the board because we are having shared intelligence. It's not like before that you just come like. Credible intelligence is coming from overseas, and we just get them. As soon as they come in, we tell our ICT unit, and it will be on the system. So before it is released, we get them, we nip the agents of the board. For us, we make sure that we do everything possible to make sure that we have zero smuggling, zero illegalities. Yes, at least people should have to abide by the law. Government is doing so much, right? You can imagine, if not because of the encouragement the federal government gave for rice importation, everybody can attest to us during the COVID-19 pandemic. We don't have any place to feed this country with our population. But thank God, rice have been quite useful for us, which is the staple food for most Nigerians for now, because you hardly do without rice, at least in a day. So at least, but some people still keep perpetrating this act. If this is continued, it would dampen the hopes of those who have to bring in, donkey skin. Why must we bring endangered animals? They have their role in the ecosystem. They have their role in the ecosystem. So definitely, it's very important that we need the media to do this fight, and we have to fight it along with you.
Other items seized include bales of clothes, tires, trucks used in smuggling rice were also seized, while some suspects were also arrested in the process. The Federal Operation Unit Zone A has again seized trucks of rice worth millions of naira. The unit also seized bales of clothes from smugglers. It speaks more on the seizures.
Clean is hydra-headed monster that we need to tackle. It's affecting you, it's affecting me, it's affecting everybody, it's affecting the nation. Now, all we desire or we require of each and every Nigerian is timely information. When you give us information, we'll work on it, and definitely will not let go. It has added a lot because it has never happened. I was given 16, later 5, almost 21, 22 vehicles at once. And those are the vehicles working for us now. So, yeah, the men too, yeah. Agile men, courageous officers. They are working. For the month of February, we have PMS. We have second-hand clothing, about 559 bales. We have used fridges. We have Tokumbo vehicles. We have compressors, seized compressors, about 172. Then frozen poultry products, about 906 cartons. Frozen poultry products, immediately as it is brought and counted, we destroy immediately, because that is not fit for human consumption at all. The chemical they use in preserving humans, that's what they use in preserving poultry products. And meanwhile, we have poultry farms enough in Nigeria.
So, just before I round up this week edition of the program Custom Support, we brought you a report where seizures were made by some commands in the country. For me, Egeseme Etinye, thanks for watching.